Daycare in Canada can be quite expensive if you are not paying subsidy. So you could be paying, if you're paying a full amount from, say, $1,000 and above. But with subsidy, which the province provides and the federal government provides as well, it cuts down the price. So there are two subsidies. There's the provincial subsidy, which you'll be applying for, and there's also the federal government's subsidy, which this federal government gives directly to the school. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Sandra Ogbonna. I live with my family in Alberta, Canada, and I like to vlog about life in Canada and provide helpful tips that can help anyone settle into Canada seamlessly. If you're a returning subscriber, you're the real MVPs. Thank you so much guys for sticking with me. You're amazing and I'm very grateful. All right guys, let's get right into it. Today we're going to be talking about how to get childcare subsidy for your child in Alberta, Canada. Now, I'm very conversant with this because it's something that I have gone through. For a newcomer in Canada, the first step would be to actually find the childcare center of your choice. Once you have done that, you register at the childcare center. Then you also ensure that the childcare center has been approved to receive subsidy. Not all out-of-school care or preschool or childcare centers are approved to receive subsidy. Now, if they are not approved to receive subsidy, the consequence is that you would end up paying a lot more than you would ordinarily be required to pay if you were getting subsidy from both the province and the federal government. So there are two subsidies. There's the provincial subsidy, which you'll be applying for, and there's also the federal government's subsidy, which this federal government gives directly to the school. So once a child is admitted, the school applies that, on behalf of your child and states that the child has been admitted, and the federal government gives the school subsidy on behalf of that child. Now, there's also the one that you apply for, which is the provincial childcare subsidy. And that's the one I'm talking about today. You apply directly and you also get additional subsidy for your child. In Alberta, it is capped at $266. So once you apply, you get $266. And for the federal government one, it depends on the age of your child. The younger the child, the more the subsidy. The older the child, the lesser the subsidy. So that's that for the provincial and federal subsidies. Let's move on to your application. If you're applying for the provincial subsidy, you have to check your eligibility first. Once you have done that, you actually would need to do that, you would need to let the province know whether or not you're resident in Canada. Being resident in Canada is very important, is pivotal to you receiving your subsidy. You would also be required to let them know whether or not your child is 12 years old and younger, and all. You would also be required to fill a form. It's a consent form where you and your partner would fill and input your social insurance numbers and upload. You would also be required to put in the daycare's name, the daycare which you have agreed that your child would begin to attend. You need to put their name on the application form. So you see, it's very important that you arrange with the daycare and agree that your child will actually attend that daycare before you even begin to apply for the subsidy. Now, it is required, or it is recommended, that you apply for the daycare at least a month before your children start daycare or begin daycare, and not very, it's not just a few weeks before they start daycare, at least a month before they start. Once all of that is done, your details of your child or children's names would be imputed as well, and your names. You would need to create a profile, and they would ask you about your tax return details. If you are a newcomer and you're yet to pay taxes, for us at the time, we actually just impute 000 because we had not started paying taxes. But if you are confused as to how to fill that aspect of the form, please call the customer care center's number there, and you would be properly informed on how to fill that particular aspect based on the fact that you're a newcomer in Canada. When all of that is done and all the details have been uploaded, including your consent form, do not forget your consent form, your partner would also be regarded as the co-applicant. Then a conditional approval for subsidy is granted. Once that subsidy is granted to you, it means that your child can immediately start, daycare. But it doesn't mean that you have a final approval for the child to continue receiving daycare and for the fees to be subsidized. It just means that for a short term, now it depends. So for some people, they get 2 months conditional approval. For some people, they get 4 months conditional approval. Well, we got 4 months conditional approval, and a representative of the Alberta Childcare Subsidy would call you eventually to require further documentation or further details that will help them finalize your application. Once you have uploaded or sent those further documentation, then you would be granted a final approval which will span a year. In between that time, if you want your child to actually change daycare center or daycare or preschool, then you would also have to inform them. If you applied when you did not have a job and now you have a job, you would now also inform them about the status of your employment. So all of these details are very pivotal to ensuring that you get your subsidy and you get the full subsidy. Uh, in addition, it's also important to note that the higher your salary, the more you would pay. So, for example, if you're earning up to 120,000 Canadian dollars per annum, you will be paying about $10 per day for your child's daycare or preschool, fees. But if you were earning between $120,000 to $180,000, you will be paying higher. You'll be paying about between $11 to $17 a day for your child. And if you are earning $180,000 and above, you'll be paying about $22 or $20 to $22 per day for your child. So the higher you earn, the more you would pay, and the less subsidy, of course, you would get. So guys, I think this basically brings us to the end of this video. I had done a previous video on waiting lists, subsidy costs, and eligibility in a previous video, which I'll link in the description box below. Please watch, and if you have any questions, please ask. I'll be more than happy to answer. Thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed the video, please do not forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe, guys. Thank you so much. Until next time, bye.